So we are in Piazza Pola. It's a little square in the back side of the city, and on the back side of the Church of Duomo, which is the main church, basically where the bishop resides. Here in Italy there is a lot of influence with the Catholic Church, and pretty much any city you would visit, it's always somehow interlaced to the fact that the church is part of life in this country. You can get in the little alleyway back there. There is not much going on, but I'll show you. You can go through this really old area of the city. This is the backside of the Church of the Duomo. But we're gonna try to get to the front side. It's gonna be nicer to see. So I'm gonna walk around again. Pretty sure you're getting disoriented, but I promise you, we're not that far from where the video began. Essentially, we're bouncing from one edge of the protective wall of the city to the other, back and forth. And I'm trying to show you as much as I can, while keeping a fairly good walking pace. In here, there is a monument. Well, they cover it during the winter, and it seems that they've already done it for the year. It's here, it's a big mosaic. But in there is a water pit. That's where kids used to get baptized when they were born. Obviously they don't use the pit anymore, but it's still there. It's an historic relic that they're trying to preserve. So during the winter, to prevent ice from forming and breaking it, they cover it. So this is the Duomo Square, and the building you see in front of us used to be the courthouse. It is not anymore. All the official buildings have been moved away from the downtown area due to the problem of getting in here with the cars. So the cars you see here, they're mainly residential people. They're the only ones authorized to come in these parking lots. And this is the Church of the Duomo, the main church of the city. This place, not only it's a church, but back when I was young and we didn't have internet and social media, this used to be the place to meet everybody on Saturday nights. There would be crowds of people waiting here on the staircase, and essentially we would just wait there for friends to show up, and then we would get going for the night. And there used to be a lot more nightlife than there is now. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and cross over. Now we're pretty much in the center of the city, and soon we're gonna be back at the walls once again. Unfortunately, there is a lot more restoration work ongoing in town compared to what I wished that there was, so you guys cannot see all the things, but I guess that gives you a little bit of a surprise in case you guys decide to visit this city. That's a very common thing in Italy, where you get walkways under the buildings. This was very common back in the ages. And essentially, all the buildings, they always have a covered walkway. In the US, that would be a liability nightmare. In here, if you get hurt while walking outside, well, wake up. Next time, you're not gonna fall. That's all. There is no much that you can do if you get hurt by tripping on someone's property. So these things are fairly common and not an issue. Essentially, you're gonna be left at just for having been fallen, nothing more. Here on our right, you see the city library. This is the actual public library of the city. You can actually go there, read any books, even take it home. It's a no charge, but you need to bring it back. And if you don't bring it back, they will sue you. They will prosecute you. And for what I heard, you get in pretty a good ordeal if you lost one of their books. So you definitely don't want it. And that's the museum That's the city museum, and this is the church of Sant'Agnese, which translation would be Saint Agnes. And this is also the place where Alexis and I got married. We got married here, and then we walked towards the city door in the wall. Yes, at this point it is already the third time that we crossed across the whole city, and we are once again reaching the edge of the wall. And I'll show you very soon. This one on my right, it's actually a high school. It is the Catholic high school of the city. Is the school dedicated to Saint Pio X, which was one of the popes. And this is also the school where one of my cousins went to study. And apparently they're doing renovation work even in here. Generally speaking, the Catholic Church don't have a budget problem in doing their renovation work, so that doesn't surprise me to see that they're working on the entire building, and this building is a lot bigger than it looks. Right ahead, the door of the Saint Foris, so called. Actually, it's called the Porta Santi Quaranta, to say in Italian. And it's one of the only 3 doors of the city that survived the bombings of the war. As I said towards the beginning of the video, the city had a total of 13 different access doors through the wall, but unfortunately most of them got destroyed during the bombings that freed the city of Treviso. This is one of the only 3 doors that survived, and now we're gonna walk out of it. We're gonna pause the video to come back in. We're going through the wall, and as always, on the outside of the wall we have the river. The river was intended to force the tanks to stay away from the city and not being able to come close to the wall, and the wall, it's tall enough that definitely you don't get over it with the tank. We resume soon with the next part of the video, starting from Porta Santi Quaranta.